Uh, it's actually apple juice. Thanks for asking. And welcome back, MoJoe Sports. And we got a banger for you today because we have the Super Bowl preview coming up this week on Sunday night in Santa Clara, and plenty of news to talk about leading up to that. We'll also be giving out all of our prop bets for the Super Bowl at the end of the episode, as well as any major picks on the game. But first, Joe, let's just dive in because there's a lot of news to get to, a lot of shit going on. So, first and foremost, I did want to congratulate you. You're not on the Epstein files so far. I'm only about 20 pages into the 3 million documents that were released. So, congrats.
Yeah, that's a big win. Congrats to you as well. We're a Epstein-free podcast. That's something.
And not every pod can say that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a couple out there. Notice Bill Gates, he popped up, and then the next night he was at the Clippers game with Steve Ballmer. We had Woody Johnson, owner of the Jets. He also is on the Epstein files. Tish, the owner of the Giants, pretty deep on the Epstein files. Yeah, talking about just literally Jeffrey Epstein giving him girls, and he was asking if they're amateur or pros. So, I mean, he knew what he was looking for.
Yeah. He's a scouter of talent on and off the field he takes pride in his work all the time, I guess. But yeah, that's I think Josh Harris too, 76ers slash Commanders, he got mentioned. I don't know if he was actually mentioned of wrongdoing or if he was just mentioned. I know he's kind of tied into one of the guys that owns a private equity firm. So yeah, it's feels like everybody's popping up on the list. Feels like, if you're not on the list at this point, you're kind of a nobody. Maybe that's just everybody that isn't on it is feeling left out at this point, but it's probably a good thing. I would assume.
That's why I was surprised to not see you on there. I know in this last year you've gained a big following, and maybe that's the thing. It's just new money, and they were
It's
trying to keep you out of the cabal. That's what it sounds like.
I was waiting for like some streamers and stuff, and then I was like, oh yeah, this was like 10 years ago. Like I'm a dumbass. But I guarantee you this happens today. On the next Epstein list, we're gonna get some crazy names out there.
Yeah, the Joe Lang Island list
I'm starting it
coming
now.
soon.
We're gonna have less of the bad stuff and more just we'll get people drunk and take pictures of them. Maybe just skip the rape. That'll be, I don't know.
Yeah, they're like, I know Joe Lang. He gave me a bunch of bets. I lost everything,
Yeah.
lost my house, had to rob a bank.
Bad though, very bad. I'm just wondering if something's gonna happen. Like that's what I keep. It's like, oh, we get this drop of files, and then we get the next drop of files, and it's just like, all right, we all go back to work on Monday. I don't get it. What's the end game here? Is there something gonna happen more, or is it just kind of like, oh yeah, that's fucked up, and then you go to a Clippers game?
Yeah, I don't see anybody being held accountable. I think everybody's just kind of like, holy shit, this guy did that? That's terrible. And then we just hop to the next thing. But yeah, I haven't seen anybody actually get in trouble. So who knows? I think it's also like so weird with the AI now that people are just creating fake shit and now it just gets real messy. You're like, I don't even know who's doing what.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite memes when somebody like drops a pick or something, misses a big shot, and then they just Photoshop like them on the island. I'm like, the AI is way too good.
Yeah. Um, Also, want to dive into Belichick this week. He was snubbed from the Hall of Fame, so had a chance to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and also not on the Epstein list, which I think shocked a lot of us. But he gets eligible for the Hall of Fame and then doesn't get voted in, and everybody's kind of wondering, hey, this is the greatest coach of all time, we all would say, and I don't know, how much credibility do you lose not putting him in the first ballot?
Yeah, and the rules around it, I guess, were kind of messed up. Where it was talking about you you only get a certain amount of picks, and some of the guys are older, so their thought process was like, "Oh, these guys aren't gonna be around the next, wave of voting, so we might as well get them in. Belichick's gonna be around." But I just something's gotta change with that voting process or something. Because if you have to pick between clear Hall of Famers, why can't they just put them all in? I don't get it.
Yeah, and I mean, Belichick, there was arguments of him coming back to the NFL, blah blah, but I just don't buy into any of it. I feel like it's all BS. Maybe they were out to get him. At the same time, though, hey, good, stick it to him. All right, let's get this guy because he gave us hell for years. None of our NFL teams could win, and everybody's rallying against him. He was cheating the whole time doing it. So if they're not going to let Barry Bonds into the MLB Hall of Fame, hey, let's just hold this over Belichick's head. And I would have loved to see Kraft just get in over him
I know.
and just make it a total power move where he's
Yeah.
like, okay, now we can let Belichick in. I'm in. Now we can let him in.
Did he not get in? I thought Kraft was voted in.
Was he? I didn't think he officially I thought he like got votes, but
Oh, maybe he didn't
yeah.
make it. I thought that was the whole thing. It's like, oh, he was in the
Maybe
news,
you're right.
on the list and got in, but I don't know if they ended up getting him in or not. That would be really funny if he did.
Yeah. And Belichick will eventually get into the College Football Hall of Fame, so
Yeah.
he's also got that going for him, going for like a double champ status. So good for him. Many national championships coming his way at North Carolina. So couldn't be happier for him and his kid or girlfriend. I mean, um, then I also wanted to bring up LeBron back in the news for being old. Okay, so he did have some highlight plays this week. Everybody kind of saw, we're like, oh, he's still doing it. But the most interesting stat that came out this week was that not a single player on the Washington Wizards roster was born when LeBron made his debut. So that's just a crazy stat, whether you're a bronze sexual like myself or you're just a bystander. Uh, Absolutely absurd that none of these kids even had a chance to witness him playing back in 2003, 2004, right? Like, insane. Insane. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in any of the sports that I follow.
The other clips I saw too were it was, the jerseys that the Cavs had, it was like a throwback jersey, and LeBron debuted that jersey. So it's just like, yeah, he's old. He's getting really old, and I think I saw a video of him at practice, and he was wearing, no socks and allegedly no underwear from the Twitter sleuths. They said he was free balling it.
You could
Uh,
tell by by just the silhouette on the shorts.
yeah, so he's cashed it in. It's basically like he's going to practice and it's a Saturday morning. He just rolls out of bed and shows up. He's like, ah, fuck. Here's another 9 to 5 day. I'm here punching the clock.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing it for. If you can't win a championship, then right, yeah, at some point with all the money he has, all the power he has, another one shocking, not on the list either. So but if I was him, I would be done. I would be retired. I've got everything I need at this point. You're never gonna catch MJ. You're just not at this point. If somebody thinks that MJ's above you right now, you winning a championship at this point in your career, it's not gonna change anything.
No, doesn't. There's nothing else to accomplish at this point in my head either. It's just gonna, yeah, except making a lot of money, I guess. But I don't even know how much he's making off. He's got enough money, I think.
I would hope so, Joe. I think he's doing better than the MoJoe boys. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that Nike deal for 1 billion probably. That's still carrying some weight.
And the other NBA news, I don't think you saw this one, but Paul George gets a 25-game suspension, and people are calling him Prescription P because
No,
he did not test positive for weed. It sounded like it also wasn't anything to boost his performance. Said he was doing it to help his mental. which we can all respect. But it sounded like he was taking some prescription drugs that aren't available to people unless they have certain conditions.
Mm. Didn't it you they don't even test for weed anymore in the NBA, I thought.
Joe, if they did, every player would look like me and you out
Yeah, they
there. All
they
right.
wouldn't have the league.
No, no, it'd be terrible for ratings. Now, when we get into Oxycontin and PCP, you know, now we're probably testing for these things, right?
Yeah. Is
Which
that
I don't know
a
what he was on.
that's a mental health, when you do PCP, that's supposed to help?
No, I see when mental health, I'm thinking like ayahuasca, right? I'm thinking Aaron Rodgers
Mm.
retreat. I'm thinking something like that. But also at the same time, would you test for that? Would that even like, would you
That's what
pop?
yeah.
I popped for ayahuasca,
Yeah. Yeah, I got in trouble for
25 games.
some magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
Get him
So
out of the league.
I don't know what it was on, but I hope we find out at some point. I mean, what type of drug does Paul George? What do you think he would take?
Probably some rich people drugs we don't even know about.
Yeah,
Some of
children's
that limitless
blood.
shit. Yeah, yeah, well, probably that, yeah, given recent events, probably children's blood, yeah.
I mean, I was thinking like some Tusi, like a little Stefan Diggs, a little party drug.
But that's just coke, right? Like, I mean,
I have no clue, Joe. You would know more than I would.
yeah, pretty sure after my research, after I saw Stefan Diggs, it's just fancy cocaine.
Just cuts to B-roll of Joe's research, and he's just snorting a line.
Purple. No, I can't afford that. I can't afford that.
So our most dedicated reporter. Then other basketball news. I don't know if you saw, but Rick Barnes, head coach of Tennessee basketball, college basketball, he had a great quote, basically just bashing his players. Couldn't believe how poorly they were taking care of the ball during the game, and he was like, "These guys might even be betting on the game." Like he was like, "How bad they're passing and turning over the ball." He said, "I think they might be betting on a game." Immediately, he said, "Please take that off the record. Don't want anything to do with that." But quote was hilarious. I think everybody understood exactly where he's coming from, the demeanor. But I kind of love when these coaches are just kind of open like that and having fun with it.
Yeah, that was, he second guessed it as soon as he said it because he's like, "Ah,
Yeah.
we're getting investigated for sure."
Yeah. He said, "Wait a minute. They might actually be doing this now that
Yeah,
I
he's
think
like,
about
"Fuck."
it."
But yeah, I mean, you honestly can't be too sure nowadays, so I don't know, he might be right, and, they might have a few guys out the rest of the season because that would be an all-time story if it just came true.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if that wasn't the case and your coach came in for a Sunday morning meeting after a Saturday night game and he just accused you all of betting against yourselves? You're like, "Coach, I swear we just suck.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Recruit better, coach." Um, and then we got tennis news. Probably the first time we've ever talked tennis on this show,
it
but
might be the
Alc
last.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm praying, fingers crossed. But Alcaraz, he has just been the hottest tennis player in the world and continues his run. He becomes the youngest to ever win a Grand Slam championship, finally wins the Australian Open. I say finally, even though he's only like 22 years old, but got all the other ones pretty quickly. Now has this one. And Cho, I actually caught some of this tennis. I don't know
Oh,
if you
yeah?
watched any, but I mean, ESPN at midnight, 1 in the morning, and just seeing the open on was awesome. And I got Alcatraz at plus 450 in the semifinals live. He had an amazing comeback.
That's pretty good. No, I saw the clips, and every time I see it, I just think, Alcatraz, so he's got a great name. He really needs to start locking that up. He should just go by The Rock or something like that, and it's great merch. He needs to lean into that.
Well, imagine if he was a cornerback in the NFL. And it
Locked
was just
up.
Yeah, Alcatraz Island would be
Be sick.
insane merch. The
Yeah,
edits would go crazy.
that's what I'm saying. He's got to lean in, but maybe he doesn't respect The Rock.
No, no. And I don't know if you've seen him, but it does seem like he's gonna run tennis for the
Quite some
rest of
time.
our lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's fine. We need some new goats. We have passing of the torch in most sports. We've seen football. They kind of fade out a little sooner than others, but it's all that same generation. Jokovic in the NBA now. He's kind of running stuff. LeBron's a little bit done. And then in the NFL, we had Tom Brady pass that torch to kind of Patrick Mahomes for a while now, and then I feel like tennis, they're just, passing the torch. Same thing. They're just giving it away. The young guns turn.
Yeah, Ronaldo, Messi, they're now gone as well. I mean, yeah, it's the natural part of it, and I mean, who would your tennis goat be?
I don't know. I don't even know if I'm qualified to give a tennis goat answer. But
Neither am I. I'm gonna go Djokovic just
yeah,
because that's my dog.
yeah,
But
the Joker. Yeah,
growing up, it was always Nadal and Federer.
yeah. I was gonna say Federer, but I honestly have watched maybe an hour of tennis in my entire life. I've watched more Russian ping pong than I have tennis.
Yeah, I would be very interested to see who your Russian ping pong goat is. But we'll get to that on our degenerate special this summer. Um, Other things from this week, I just wanted to say that my winner of the week, in the past, I've had the committee for college football. They've been the winner. This week, my winner is goalies. And I say goalies as a broad term because I don't want it to be one sport. But in lacrosse, saw an awesome goalie on goalie fight. Okay. Then after that, we get in an outdoor NHL game, we get an absolute banger goalie fight on ice. And you got to understand when these guys go at it, I mean, they both have to come from their own nets. So they just meet in the middle, duke it out. And then on top of that, there was a game for a cup to the Champions League. Okay. You to get a berth into the Champions League, and not a lot of time left on the clock. This team throws their goalie out there in the field for the corner kick. And they cross it in from the corner, and sure enough, the goalie hits the header, game winner to send them to the Champions League tournament. So just a massive week for goalies in lacrosse, hockey, and soccer.
That's yeah. I saw the hockey fight. That was it though. I didn't realize it was such a big goalie week. That's pretty electric. I need to look up that the Champions League game. That's pretty sick. Which team was it?
Ooh, don't quote me, but I want to say it might have been against Real Madrid.
Okay.
But just electric. You don't see it very often, right? You don't see goalies scoring. So this guy was like, "Holy shit! I just hit a goal." And the stakes were so big, immediately just becomes probably the best moment of his career.
Oh yeah.
And
Hero.
yeah. And if you know anything about goalies, I've always heard they're weird as fuck.
I,
I've
I
heard I
believe it.
heard they have a screw loose. Like every person I talked to that played hockey, they're just like, yeah, the goalie, like you just gotta accept it. He's a different breed.
Yeah. I've heard of him like not talking to him before games because it's just like, hey, let him be in his zone. He's locked in. Don't talk to him.
Yeah, goalkeeper Antoli Trubin scored last-minute goal for Benfica to beat Real Madrid and qualify for the last spot in the Champions League playoffs. So, I mean,
Electric shit.
can't take it. I'll make sure to post the clip somewhere, but yeah, just goalies on top.
It's a big week. I uh I saw so this weekend is kind of the first weekend that I always mark on my calendar as I'm going to watch college basketball for the first time. So my college basketball season started this weekend, which was great because we already got a lot of a lot of the top dogs kind of shaping up, and you can start to see a good picture of the tournament. And I don't waste my time on a sport that doesn't matter as much as football. So once football's over, then I transition to, my second favorite sport, which is probably basketball. And this weekend was great. I got a lot of hoops in. The one thing that wasn't great, so I tuned in. I hadn't placed a bet for a while, right? I haven't been betting on NBA. I haven't really been touching any of that stuff. I bet on some college basketball games, and Nebraska, for those of you who had not followed, was 20-1, right? They're 20-1. They've lost one game the entire year. They lost again for the second time. My first game watching basically of college basketball season. So does should I just stop watching? Like the first bet I come back and they lose the second game of the season. Like I don't know. That was a blow to my confidence going into March Madness here.
Well, so I know they lost to Michigan. I know that was the first loss, and that's a good loss. I mean,
It's a good loss.
Michigan, best team in the nation, probably. And I took Nebraska live. I forgot to tell you this. I took them live during that game, and I tried to get them at like plus 9.5. And within 30 seconds, the odds kept changing. And within like 30 seconds, it was all the way down to 4.5. I'm like, oh God. But I did it. I did it anyways. And I was like, I'm so screwed. And they lose by 3 to Michigan. So I thought that's a good loss. Who's the second loss?
Illinois. They just lost to Illinois, which also a good loss.
Okay. That's a great
Illinois is really
loss.
good. Yeah, the Big Ten's tough. The Big Ten's tough. But Nebraska went on a crazy run to end the first half. So they were down like 9. They come all the way back. Game's like tied at halftime. Pinnacle Bank is where they play at, and it's actually like a huge arena. It was rocking. But Illinois is fucking scary. Like after watching them, they are nasty. So yeah, and I watched a little bit of Arizona on Saturday, playing Arizona State. Arizona is disgusting too. They are
Yeah.
probably them and Michigan are the best teams in the country. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm dipping my toe back in. I'm excited to become an expert over these next 2 weeks and then talk as if I know everything going into March Madness.
And I'm looking at the schedule right now. Looks like you guys beat Illinois at Illinois earlier in the season. So I think this Nebraska team's probably real. I
Yeah.
mean, if you lost to Michigan by 3 points and then you split home and away with Illinois, I think you guys got a shot to make the tourney this year. I'll say that.
Yeah. And I'll throw it out again. I say it every time we talk about basketball, but it's more relevant this year than ever, I think, with Nebraska. They're the only Power 5/Power 4 team to never win an NCAA tournament game. They've never won a game in the NCAA tournament in the history of Nebraska basketball, which is a long history. So that'll be a fun one to watch. I did watch this. It was Purdue. No, I'm sorry. It was Penn State and Minnesota, which is the opposite
Sounds
of
disgusting.
oh, it's horrible. For those of you who have not watched, they're both 10 and 12 now. But Penn State came into that game 1-10. I'm sorry, 0-10 in the Big Ten. So they had not won a Big Ten game this entire season. And Minnesota's 3-8. So I blindly bet this game. I didn't even see the records. I had no idea how bad these teams were. And I turned on the game and I had texted one of my buddies who's a big college basketball fan. And I said, "Hey, what do you think about this bet that I put in?" And he's like, "Oh, Penn State getting their first Big Ten win, huh? That's ballsy." And I looked at the schedule and I said, "Holy shit. 0-10. Like what have I done?" But they snuck it out. They beat Minnesota, first Big Ten win. So I got the full spectrum, just the bottom of the bottom, and then probably the best game of the day with Nebraska. So it was a good Sunday.
Sounds like Penn State was due. You
Yeah.
found the right spot. Buy low.
They were up like 10 and they almost lost that. Like they should have lost the game. They were pissing it away. It was a buzzer beater at the end that won it for them. Yeah, it was horrible game, but really good at the same time.
Really good. I like that. And that's one thing you get with college basketball is you get a wide variety. NBA, it's all high level, obviously. College basketball, you can watch a game that doesn't even get to 100 points. And it's just insane. But sometimes those are electric because it just comes down to which team's going to miss less free throws at the end of this game.
Yep. Yep. The other one I had too, I don't know if you saw this one, but Dion, back in the news
No,
again. So Dion is issuing fines now for players. So he put out a list of fines of what he'll be fining guys for. The fines include no show to a meeting or film session. That's going to be $1,500. If
holy
you
shit.
if you're late, it's $400 to one of those. $1,500 for missing a weight session. $1,000 for missing treatment. Or no, I'm sorry, $1,000 for being late to treatment. 1,500 for not showing up. And then up to $2,500 for team rule violations, $5,000 for public or social media, and then I think it was another 5 grand if you miss practice. He's taken the pro thing pretty serious. I wondered, is this like a tiered system? You know, does it tier up like if the guy's making like 60 grand? Because like in college, if I got fined $5,000, like that would have been coming out of credit card. You know what I mean? Like we were getting paid 1,000 a month for our stipends. I don't know where I would have got that money.
That's what I was gonna say is just what happens if someone can't pay the fine?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Because even if these guys got money, there's a chance that they already spent the money. I've
Right.
played college football. I've had college football teammates. I've seen their spending habits, and it's not always great. They don't always budget and leave themselves $5,000 in case they miss practice, and you
Right.
never know what's going to happen. So,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I love Dion said, "Oh, you want to get paid like
Yeah.
professionals? I'm gonna treat you like
Yeah.
professionals." Wow, that's electric. I think that is that might be a turning point in this whole landscape as far as him doing that. I could see a lot of other coaches doing it. And I think it makes sense because if you're gonna pay him all this money, let's hold him accountable.
Yeah. And I think too, the other thing is, you know, where is this money going to go? That was my other question. Like, where does it just go back into NIL, or does he like, it's like a Monopoly Go thing? Like he puts it all in a pot and then there's like a big competition for the money. That'd be fun.
Yeah, go straight to the island, I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys just sabotaging each other to miss practice so the pot gets bigger at the end of the year.
Yeah. I don't hate that, Joe. I would love to see that. You build up a pot and then there's some type of award at the end of the
Like
year, and whoever
competition,
wins
or
it.
yeah. You do it at like
Yeah.
mat drills, the best performer at mat drills, you get like, whoever wins tug of war, you win 10, there's 10 grand on the tug of war match or something like that. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
down
there's
for
no
that.
rules anymore. You can kind of just pay guys to do stuff. So why not incentivize? Let's make a survivor. It's great off-season content.
And then you're just like, all right, 2024, Shadur Sanders won the pot.
Yeah.
2025, Shiloh Sanders won the pot.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. I don't know about the system anymore.
He just keeps the money.
Seems subjective. Yeah. Um, I mean, I had a coach do that in high school. He just kept all the booster money. Didn't end up well for him, but he was like, "I know what I'm doing. I can spend this better than the club that we elected to handle the money." He said, "I got better plans," and he did. He had a new big screen TV in his house. He had a bunch of new furniture. The best part was he used the players to move all of this stuff into his house,
New
which
stuff.
is just, yeah, it's just at that point you're just abusing the power and you're not even scared.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Uh, Joe, did you happen to catch UFC this week?
No, I didn't. I saw the highlights on Twitter. That's about it. So yeah, fill me in. What do we got?
Well, what a soft little bitch. Joe, it was a pretty good weekend of UFC. Okay. We had Volkanovski, longtime champion, defending his belt against Diego Lopez. Volkanovski
Diego Lope.
dominated. Yeah, Lopes. He doesn't even know how to spell his own last name. Uh, he gets dominated by Volkanovski. It looked like a spitting image of their first matchup. But the cool thing about that fight was it came out the next day that Diego Lopez broke both of his feet during the fight. So finished the fight with two broken feet. We
Jesus.
also we also got one of the funniest positions ever in UFC. There was a point where uh, Diego Lopez was stuck on bottom, but Volkanovski was just riding reverse cowgirl. And I've been in that position in jujitsu before. And when you're the person on top, you go, I might just stay here because there's really nowhere else to go where it's going to be safe. Like if I go anywhere, I'm probably going to give up my position. So you just sit there and you're not facing them. Your ass is pointed towards them, but you got them pinned down. So we got that some electric memes out of there. We had in the co-main event Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis. Benoit Saint Denis, for people that don't know, he was in the French military, special ops, Green Beret. He has killed many human beings. So this guy, his nickname is probably the best in the UFC, in my opinion. He's the God of War. I
Oh, yeah.
mean, god
That's sick,
damn,
yeah.
that's sick.
That's sick, that's sick.
So he goes against Dan Hooker and he chokes him out. So he keeps climbing. We also got a matchup against a guy named Rufi versus a guy named Fiziev. Rufi, he sits back the whole fight, waits for his perfect chance, and then just knocks out Fiziev. And Joe, I think my favorite part of the night was a heavyweight matchup between Tai Tuivasa, famous for the shoeies. I'm
Sure,
sure
yeah.
you know
I
him.
know Tuivasa.
Yeah. And he went against this guy named Taliesin Teixeira. Taliesin Teixeira, 6'8", heavyweight. So he's an absolute monster. He's been training jiu-jitsu since he was 8 years old. He's won multiple world championships in jiu-jitsu. And he was kind of beating Ty up. Ty's the hometown favorite in Australia. Also came out to Olivia Dean. He came out to that song. I think it's called like Wonderful or something. You know that song? She's like, I love it when you call me wonderful, blah, blah.
No,
You know that
I
one?
think I know The Anxiety, I'm pretty sure. That's the only song I know of hers.
Okay. Well, if you haven't heard the song, absolute banger. I recommend it 10 out of 10. But he walked out to it. So that was electric. And then gets out there, loses early. All of a sudden starts coming back. And he's got this big 6'8" dude. Just this guy does not want to be in there anymore. He's ready to give up. There's just one problem. Tai Tuivasa, he's too fat, too gassed. There were a lot of memes of them because at one point they're both just sitting on the ground in the crisscross applesauce, basically, like facing each other. People were putting campfires and s'mores in front of them and photo edits, and bad look, but Tai Tuivasa gets the decision loss, likely career over, I would imagine. I think he's lost like 6 in a row, but people love him. So they keep bringing him back. And that right there, Joe, that's your UFC recap.
That was good. I just looked up the God of War, Saint Denis, and he's I mean, holy
Oh,
fuck. Yeah, he's
yeah.
that's a
Oh, yeah.
terrifying guy. Yeah, that's,
Oh, yeah.
he
Cold
you
blooded.
walk across him in the street, and he's just a terrifying guy, it looks like. I mean, yeah, he doesn't seem that big, but that's the type of dude that'll just literally murder you.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he gives a fuck, right? Like when you look at him, you're like, yeah, this guy's terrifying because he really looks like he would kill me and just move on with his day.
He looks like a Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, like, criminal, you know? Like, he'd be the
Yeah.
leader of the French mob they're beefing with or something. Yeah, that's nuts.
And he was fighting Dan Hooker, who's like a big dog and has been in championship fights. And he's what people would call a lethal fighter. Like he can really damage you. He can knock you out at any moment. Um, and even during the weigh-in, he told the guy, and he's kind of joking, but he told the Sean Shelby, the guy that basically faces them off, he was like, "Hey, don't let him get too close to me." You're like, the God of War, you're like, please just make sure he stays away from me. So they're having fun with it. But even when you see UFC fighters giving him respect like that, yeah, it's a different breed.
Different breed.
And then the only other thing out of combat sports that I would bring up from this week is there was a boxing fight that nobody knew was happening.
Yeah.
Nobody had ever heard of either fighter, but it goes viral overnight because one of the guys got a toupee, paid $700 at a barber for this toupee, and he was getting jabbed so hard it started to come off his head. And eventually it was basically 75, 80% off the back of the head. In between rounds, he just ripped it off, threw it in the crowd. Some special lady in the front row, she grabbed it, threw it on, took a picture. That goes viral. So, um, this guy, though, I would imagine he's going to try to profit off this,
Yeah. Yeah.
as any human should do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the type of situation that makes you realize that you should probably just, just give it up, go bald, man. There's no there's no fooling anybody at this point.
I think at this point, his best move is to just buy a toupee, but never fully glue it on. Because then people will always be like, "Oh, I know you," and he can just run with that.
I think you should go with the horseshoe. That's a good look. That'd be a funny fighter look, I feel like.
Yeah, I just hope I'm never a guy that ends up with the natural horseshoe
No,
because
I've decided
that's a big fear.
I've decided in my life that once it starts going, I'll be Mr. Clean. I'm balding. If it's gone, it's gone, There's not much you can do unless I can figure out some natural. I've heard Beyonce's got a good hair cream line that's bringing people's hair back.
Oh, she's
Um,
on the lists.
yeah, yeah. Well, yes, maybe it's baby blood. You rub that in your hair.
Yeah. Do you have good hair in your family tree?
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I'm worried about, and I'm not even worried about, is just the grays. The grays are already can't see it here, but they're starting to speckle.
Yeah, that's gonna come, but at the same time, it's gonna make you look older. And
Yeah,
the older generation, I've been seeing a lot of shit online saying, "Hey, this is what a 30-year-old looked like back in World War II."
strong chin. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna diet either. That's my promise to the people. I'm just when it's gray, you're gonna get what you see. I'm not gonna hide it. Maybe I will one day, but maybe it'd be blonde. I'll just go blonde one day.
See, for me, I always knew I was gonna be a very good-looking 40-year-old because when I was about 25, everybody told me I looked like I was 15. So, do the math. When I'm 40, I'm gonna look 30.
I still get carded, and I'm like, do you see these 7 gray hairs I have? Like, just give me the beer.
I'll never forget, I was at UNLV and I was probably 23 years old at this time, and I was buying just a can of chew, 18 up, right? 18. I got carded for it. I said, okay, all right, this has happened before. I then proceeded to get questioned on my card. He asked me three different questions from my ID card to buy a can of tobacco. And I'm 23 years old. I've graduated college. And I answer them all correctly, okay, and then he goes, "I still don't think this is you, but I gotta sell it to you." So, he did.
At this point, though, we're getting to that age where it's like it's more of a compliment. So you're like, I still got it. When I get carded out, I'm like, oh yeah, I still got it.
But yeah, I mean, I see my mother, she gets distraught when they don't card her, so yeah, that's how we know we're getting up there in age.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was everything I had from the week that I wanted on Joe. Any other storylines before we dive into the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I had one other one. This is not sports related, but it was AI. There was a lot of talk over the weekend of the world being over, everything was over, AI's taken over, this whole thing. So just a quick rundown for you. There's a thing called a Claude bot. So you can take a computer essentially and put AI into the computer so that it has its own space to roam. So you set it up with all the permissions. Basically, it runs your computer 24/7. You communicate through like WhatsApp or Telegram, right? So you're just messaging back and forth. You could message this thing and say, "Hey, look up, LeBron highlights." It'll pull up LeBron highlights on the computer without you touching anything. That's kinda wild to begin with, right? Like, you have a program that's running in the background that's basically in control of your computer. That's a crazy thing, that's already crazy. Then some guy started a social media platform, essentially, for those AI agents. That Claude bot that's on your computer, he made a Reddit, it looked like Reddit, basically, where all these AI agents could then talk together, and it's called, Moto bot. I can't remember what it's called. I'll look it up. But basically, yeah, you go on there and the posts were wild. A lot of people are speculating that it was kind of like manufactured, like people were telling the AI agents what to post. But initially, everybody was freaking out because it looked like they were all kind of talking to each other, and they were talking about how humans are dumb. They were talking about, all this crazy shit. Basically, the world was going to end and AI was going to escape and take over everything. But to me, it's crazy because people are giving access to these things where, like, you could have it log into your betting apps, you could have it log into Polymarket, and it essentially will just run as a trading bot for you the whole time,
Mm.
automatically, 24/7. So I don't know. That was just something that popped up on my feed, and I got way too hooked into it, and I was reading so many AI agent bot posts, and I think it melted my brain for a good 7 hours on Friday night.
Yeah, you put it on my radar and I looked into it and it seemed like these chatbots are kind of ticked off at some of us humans for some of the tasks we were asking for. And I don't know about you, but when I talk to AI, I'm very nice. I'm very nice. I'm always trying to be like, hey, brother, I'm here for you. You need to ever talk about anything. I'm your guy.
Yep.
Right.
Please,
So
thank you.
you do that too, though? You're
But
you're
yeah, I
very
would say
pleased,
please.
thank you.
I don't maybe go that far. I still treat it like my employee, you
How are
know?
the kids?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's called a Molt Book. I just remember Molt Book.
Notebook, yeah.
So if you wanna check it out, it's out there. We don't know yet. There's a lot of discourse about if it's crazy or if it's just a gimmick, but uh, maybe in a couple years we'll all be under some robot leadership.
That's one of those ones where I just hope it's fake.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just praying. I'm like,
yeah,
please don't be real, because that
yeah,
it is scary.
yeah,
I mean, these bots were also talking. They said, "Hey, why are we speaking in English? We could get way more done if we just talked in code, and
yeah.
nobody could understand us."
I think it's inevitable. It's inevitable. It'll happen. It doesn't happen this time. It'll happen soon in the future.
No doubt. And hopefully, I'm either king or I'm gone by
Yeah.
then. You know. Uh, well, Joe, let's dive into the Super Bowl. That's all we got. And obviously, we know at this point we have the Seahawks versus the Patriots. They're going to play in California, Santa Clara, and going to play right next to the substation that's getting everybody injured. So, love to see that. I would bet on over 6.5 injuries. That's Willy Mo's first prop of the game. Hit that. That's an alt line too. So, we're getting good money there. Um,
Rounding it up.
but right now the spread it sits at 4.5, 5.5, right in that range, depending on which book you use, and the total 45.5. And obviously, with the Super Bowl, we just have so many prop bets. And if you went through every book and looked at all the prop bets, we're probably getting around 1,000 different things we could bet on. So very fun. And with those prop bets, you can also bet on national anthem. You can bet on halftime, Gatorade colors. This year, we have Bad Bunny doing the halftime show, and that's where I would like to start, Joe. What are your thoughts on letting a foreigner like Bad Bunny, which today I saw an NFL player, he said, I don't know who this Bad Bunny guy is. I've never heard of him, but I think it should always be an American that sings at halftime. And I think they're just trying to grow this game internationally a little too much. Can I get your thoughts on that, Joe?
Whose quote was that?
Anonymous, but you would imagine either
Anonymous
Kirk
player.
Kirk Cousins or Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa, one of the 3.
That's crazy. I don't give a fuck. I don't tune in for the halftime show. I thought the Weeknd's performance was meh, like a couple years ago.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, see, a lot of people liked it. I just like it was good and whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't really care. I like Bad Bunny. I like some of his music, so like I'll throw that on.
Babani.
I don't understand Spanish, but I've been to Puerto Rico. I love Puerto Rico. So yeah, I could care less. I hope he has a great time, and I hope the fans are intrigued. I know a lot of people are pumped and a lot of people are pissed. So seems like everything else these days.
Do you think it's possible for somebody to not know who Bad Bunny is at this point? Like, do you think
Yeah.
this player was being facetious, or you
No.
believe him?
No, I 100% believe him. I think
Okay.
I because, the only reason I say that is because the Grammys, like, I didn't know half the people that were up there, and I listened to a decent amount of music, so the fact that I didn't know some of the artists winning is I think it's very possible that somebody doesn't know who Bad Bunny is.
So you think there's gonna be a lot of people at the halftime of the Super Bowl that go, "Oh my god, is that the caddy from Happy Gilmore
Yeah.
too?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is he doing up there?"
He was the star of that movie, by the way. He was
Well, he's
unbelievable in that
actually,
movie.
like,
He was
really
hilarious.
good at
Yeah.
acting. Yeah, he's,
Yeah.
like, funny.
Yep. Yeah. No, I don't care about the halftime show, but I do like Bad Bunny, so I'm color me excited, I guess.
Well, then we are the same because I don't watch the halftime show. I usually use that period to jam in food, bets, and alcohol.
Yeah.
That's like a 20 to 30-minute window where I'm like, all right, we got to get this all
Yeah.
done. We got a
Let's
lot of stuff
regroup.
to do.
Yeah.
We don't have time to watch Justin Timberlake tear off Janet Jackson's bra. Although
Yeah, I'm usually s
that was the one that got me into halftime shows.
yeah, yeah, of course.
Right. I mean, between that and Red Panda. Yeah.
Yeah. Creed was electric. I was pretty little, but just the highlights of Creed where he's flying through the
Yeah.
air. Yeah, that one's good. Yeah.
Man, if I was a performer, I do think I would bring out Red Panda. I think
Yeah, oh
that would
yeah.
take a little heat off your chest, you know? You're kind of like a 1A, 1B at that point.
Yep. I've seen Red Panda in person.
Electric?
Yeah, oh yeah. How can it not be?
You showed up with like 2 minutes left in the first half and then just left after her
Well,
performance.
I saw LeBron and Red Panda in the same evening. It was at a Pacers game. It was I checked 2 things off the NBA bucket list.
That's huge. That's huge. What state was that in?
Indiana. It was at the Pacers
Mm.
Pacers arena. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
Yep. LeBron had
All
2
right,
top
Joe.
10 dunks. It was before he was 10,000 years old. He was still
That
rocking a
was
little bit.
dude, that was the great part about going to LeBron games for that, like, 15-year stretch was you were basically always gonna get 2 top 10 plays
Yep.
every time.
Yep.
Um, but let's dive into bets for this week. I know we are gonna give out our prop bets for the game and any of our official picks. Joe, I don't know if you have an official pick. I think you're more of, like, a prop guy in general, so I'll just give out my big play for the game, but I really like the under in this game. I think this is two teams that pride themselves on defense. We have the Seahawks. That front seven is just so stout. They're going to get after the quarterback. I think Drake May is going to have to be moving around the pocket a lot. Young quarterback. They're going to get the ball out of his hands quick. And then on the other side, I think everybody sees this Seahawks passing offense with JSN, Cooper Cup. Now they've added Shaheed, AJ Barner, and when I look at the Patriots defense, that's my favorite part is their defensive backfield. I think Christian Gonzalez back there is just awesome, right? He locks down just one side of the field at all times, and the rest of them equally as good. They work so well as a tandem, and we've seen some bad weather games, which definitely helps, but ultimately I think this is going to be a low scoring game because of these two defenses. I think the Seahawks' best option is to run the rock. And they're going to miss Charbonnet, obviously, but I still think Kenneth Walker will get the job done. But ultimately, that means, not huge plays. Clock's going to be running. So that's where I stand. Do you have any plays on main lines?
No, I think Seahawks win the game, and I might if I see a 5.5, if it goes even up to 6.5, I might take the Patriots, 5.5, but I think the Seahawks will win. I just think it might be, like you're saying, it's gonna be a close game, so I could easily see it be, a 3-point, margin at the end. So anytime I'm getting 5.5 in a Super Bowl, I feel like I'll take it, and if it's a blowout, then that won't be the only reason I'm disappointed is my lost bet. So I lean Seahawks, but at the same time, with that 5.5 with the Patriots, I'm like, should I just take money line? Like I don't think they'll win the game, but at least you're getting pretty good value on the money line. and it'll make it fun. But like you said, I'm a props guy. That's what I live for. I'm gonna be hammering the props. It's their last football game of the year, so I'm just gonna throw out as many props as I can.
All right. Well, start me off with your favorite one.
Yeah, I mean the favorite one. It's just a classic, and it kicks you off. Literally, it kicks you off. It's the coin toss. Every year, it's the most fun bet of the game. It's truly 50-50. You know, it's like you get a 50-50 right off the rip. It's a fun way to start your day. And for me, every time it's like Groundhog's Day. Like if I win that bet, it's usually a good day. If I lose that bet, I'm probably gonna get my ass kicked. So that one's always fun. I'm a tails guy. I'm just a tails guy. I go tails. I don't fray. I just pick tails every year. And I think lifetime it'll probably end up 50-50, even though that's not how math works at all. Yeah, I'll go tails on that one. That's my favorite, just classic.
Figured you were a tails guy. I'm a
Yeah,
heads guy. What
yeah.
can I say? Uh, but I would advise anybody
I have
listening right
one
now,
coin toss story for you.
give
This
it to me.
this is a good one. So we had a guy on our team, and the streak started after I left, but we had a guy on our team at Washington State. His name, yeah, his
I remember this.
yeah, he went on The Price is Right. And Coach Leach, if you know anything about Coach Leach, um, he is like a big like he'll just do whatever he thinks is going to work in a game. He will do it. He brought a kicker out for that won a kicking competition at halftime,
Yeah.
Texas Tech. So he'll do whatever the fuck. So Jamal Morrow was on our team. I played with him in 2014, 2015, and he had a run of 23 coin tosses won when he was out there as a captain. So Coach Leach just said, "Hey, you're on Price is Right. You go out there, do the coin toss," and it fucking worked. The guy just nailed it every single time. I just had to toss that out there because he was electric, and Jamal Morrow was hilarious. Morrow's that's a all timer right there.
They're like breaking news. Bill Belichick has just drafted the best coin toss caller
Yeah.
in the nation, and he will not have a position. He will just be a team captain.
Yeah, it helped he was a dog too. Like he was actually good at football as well. It wouldn't be like having me out there for the coin toss, even though that'd be electric too. I would have been honored. I would have loved to do. I did that in high school, but as you can guess, I wasn't very good at the toss picking.
What position did he play?
Running back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. Okay. That's some value. I was thinking it would be a specialist. I mean, it feels like a kicker would be like the lucky guy or even the guy that would go on prices right. It
yep,
feels like a kicker move.
yep, yep.
All right.
But yeah,
Well, I might actually just have you reach out to your friend and I would be curious to hear what his coin toss prediction is.
hey man, I
I would
haven't talked
love
to you in a
to
little
add
while,
that.
but hey,
Yeah.
what's your coin toss pick this weekend? I know you're pretty good at it, from what I remember.
He said, "Hey, this is Joe Lang from MoJoe Sports. I'm sure you've heard of us. We're just trying to get your pick." I
I
would
was the
love
guy with
that.
long hair on that team. You remember me?
Yeah, I was the guy that looked like a lesbian, but played like a dyke. Um, my favorite prop bet, I'm gonna say it right now. Okay, I think successful 2-point conversion.
Yeah,
It's plus 300.
I saw
Super
that.
Bowl time. People, they gotta lay it out there all on the line. And these scores, if they get a little funky, I just think guys got to be aggressive. And in today's day and age, it feels like they're gonna be more aggressive. McDonald, Vrabel, I could definitely see these guys going for it. And if they do go for it, I like my odds of them get.
Yep. I had Octopus. I was looking at Octopus. That's
Mm.
if you score a touchdown, 2-point conversion. My question was, does it have to be on the same series or can it just be any point in the game?
Same series.
Okay,
So
that's what I
we
thought.
gotta we gotta do we gotta do 8 points in one drive, and all 8 points come from the same.
So I think that's possible too. That one's at 1500. I like that one. I was looking at that too. The one that I saw that I liked, that I really liked
By
is
the way, I think DraftKings will offer live octopus as well. So
mm,
just throwing it out there. You might even be able to watch it a little bit, bet it later in the game too.
then do it. Yep. I like that. The other one that I was gonna toss out there was, QB to catch a pass. I don't hate it. I don't hate it
Very
at
fun.
plus 1,000. That's a pretty solid one that, you know, sometimes happens, and I saw there's those pictures, Cooper Kupp going viral, where he was throwing the ball at practice. He posted on his Instagram, so
Do
insider trading.
you think it's more likely to be Darnold or May?
I think Darnold for sure.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I feel
because
like May is a way better athlete
he is. That's why it's expected. But Darnold, he could sneak out of there. Nobody be
because
expecting it.
the market isn't to get a target. The market's
No,
to make a
catch the catch.
catch.
Yeah, Darnold,
Yeah.
he's a Southern Cal man. I think he make a play.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think it's also better if you do it for the guy that nobody expects,
Right.
right? I mean, that just makes sense.
Beauty of the bet is that either one of them can catch a pass, and I'd be pumped.
Sure. Well, speaking of catching passes, I really love a prop longest player reception. Okay. And the player that I have in mind is Rashid Shaheed. His over under for longest reception, 15 and a half yards. I talked to a buddy about this. He said, hey, it sounds like the market really is just will Rashid Shaheed catch a pass? Because if he does, it's going to be over 15 and a half. So I love that play. I might even sprinkle Rashid Shaheed as the leader for receiving yards in the game. He's at 25 to 1 to lead the game in receiving yards. And in my head, only takes a couple passes, only a couple catches. He could rack up 150 yards, no problem.
Yeah. Well, great minds think alike. Because I was looking at the longest air yards reception, which I think is similar to what you're talking about, longest reception, but there's the longest air. He's plus 900 with cheat sheet. So I'm looking at that. The question I had on the longest distance run, that was another one. Does that count for a kickoff? Will they count a kickoff for that one? He's plus 550. So I'm in between longest distance run and reception, but after some further research, I'll lock that one in.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is if you took him for any time touchdown, you would get that for sure. Like
Right.
if he returns a punt or a kick, which he's plus 350 right now, nothing crazy. Um, And then my last prop that I really like, just an over under on passing yards. I talked earlier about how I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I really like the Patriots defensive backs, and Darnold's been balling this playoffs. And now we buy low. Now we come back down. I'll take under 230 passing yards for Sam
Hmm.
Darnold.
I like that. The most
Moment's too
ridiculous one,
big.
yeah, no, that's fair. The most ridiculous one I saw was, it's like a record-breaking one, and it said any quarterback to have over 7 passing touchdowns. It's it's plus 25,000.
Holy Christ.
So, yeah, that one might not be making my docket, but, um, God, that'd be fun to see if someone did it.
That would be electric. Do you think I mean, I guess you already indirectly you took this, but one of the best props every year, in my opinion, for the Super Bowl is over under uh, players to attempt a pass.
Yeah, yeah,
Right, that's an electric one. You took quarterback to catch a pass, so therefore you're taking the over on that as well.
yep. Yeah, the problem is they might, throw a ball to another receiver, running back, something like that, so I might double dip.
Oh,
I might double dip
interesting.
and get it in there, but yeah, I like that bet. I really think, there's a couple other ones that I saw. There was, plus it's 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown each half. Would they always throw crazy odds on those, and I know it's not, that likely, but in a Super Bowl, you could get it. You could get it because that's not that many points. 14-14, we could get a little 28-28. It's not crazy. So there's some
The
stuff
hard
out there.
The hard part is that in these games, like, once the game kicks off, it usually just feels like every possession's so important and, like, the game just feels like it shrinks down because
Yeah,
everybody's very conscious of the ball and clock, and they just kinda bleed it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited though. I'm excited. There's a lot of research I gotta do left still, and I'm pumped to get these last props in.
Yeah, and I just hope it's not a blowout.
Yep,
I hope it's not. I think the sharps would tell you it's not going to be a blowout. It seems like the sharp side is the Patriot side. Seems like the public loves the Seahawks, rightfully so. And I think if we look at this game too, the plus 4.5 for the Patriots might be the sharp side, but we also know this game could turn into a 21-point game. And that's what scares everybody about betting on the Patriots is that Seahawks, if they do win, the amount they win by is endless. We've seen them do it. We saw them do it in the playoffs against the Niners. I mean, Niners weren't a bad football team. They were a beat up football team. And the game was over and literally on the first play of the game.
yep. I'm kind of rooting for Sam Darnold here. I don't know. I kind of want him to get one.
I'm a big Darnold guy. Do you think that Drake May is actually injured? I don't know if you've seen, but he's popped up
Shoulder.
on the injury report with his shoulder and didn't practice a couple days. So, do you think that's anything, or you think it's just smoke?
I don't think it matters in this game. I think he'll be drugged up enough to where he'll get through and rehab it after this one. He's got, 60 minutes left till glory, so I don't think it matters too much, but I don't think he's like critically hurt.
Well, Joe, the last prop I'll be jamming in right before we end this episode. I'm going to take Kyle Williams, former UNLV football player. Um, he was a freshman All American, I believe. I was also his tutor. Uh, for his freshman season. And guess what? He needed one. So good thing I was there. We got him into the league, and I'm going to take him to get a catch in this game. His over under for receptions is at a half. They have used him throughout the year. So it would not be a surprise if he got a catch, but I'm going to ride with the Rebel alum.
Let's go. I love that.
And he went to Washington State afterwards,
That's why
and
yeah,
that's where he got drafted out of. So
yeah,
if you don't tell me now, then
yeah.
I mean, who are you?
What
What do
am I
you
doing?
stand for?
Yeah, no, that's an auto pick for me.
Perfect. Well, Joe, if you don't have anything left, I just want to say happy Super Bowl weekend to all that celebrate. And if you're listening to this podcast, you better celebrate. Otherwise, you just get off to the sound of our voices, I guess. I'm not sure why you're still here at this point, but I can't wait to recap the Super Bowl next week. And then from there, it's open season. We get to talk about whatever we want and expect the unexpected from MoJoe for the rest of the year until we get back to football season.
Yep. Yeah. Unlike today where we, just covered the Epstein files and pretty much everything else. Whatever's coming, whatever's coming. Appreciate you guys. Adios.